Right. Always gets on my chest when I'm sweeping up. Right, lads. I thought I'd have a little short one here to talk about protective clothing in the workshop and a chat about why I, mostly a woodworker, use a boiler suit in a woodworking shop. I don't know what you guys use, but it seems to suit me for a number of reasons. First of all, you know, I've been retired for a bit, full-time carer, so it's not like I go out and do a job and I can just wear all this really cheap modern workwear and dump it when I get home. I do have my traditional carpenter's apron as a nod to my teenage years in the high school wood shop, and I enjoy that. But the fact of the matter is, I'm a bit of a messy pup. Nana doesn't like me traipsing sawdust and mud and glue through the house when I have to go in for a call of nature. So not only do I have a boiler suit, but I've got the French horn. Some of you have asked me to play. I might do that another time when the call of nature calls in the workshop. Two reasons why I use this. The first one, it's a bit of a nod of respect to my old dad. My old dad just missed hostilities in WW2, although all my uncles actually fought, and between the five of them, I think they only lost one leg between the five of them. But my dad missed that when he was called up. He spent it out in India, I think. Doesn't talk about. A lot of the uncles that went through it never talked about it. It's not like these days. Anyway, my dad left school at 14, trained to be a carpenter, I believe, and that was interrupted by his national service. When he came back, he didn't go into carpentry. He went into Winterbottoms down at Trafford Park near Salford Docks on the heavy hammers. Don't know how he got there, but anyway, and from there he spent the rest of his working life in engineering. He was a mechanical, all singing, all dancing, maintenance engineer in the hospital. Started out as a fitter, then charge hand, then assistant engineer, and he finished at Manchester Royal as a supervising shift engineer. So he spent all his life in a boiler suit, and he spent all his time gardening in a boiler suit, which made him stand out really. He quite proudly wore a navy blue, gardening when most of the old chaps I remember from my childhood were doing the gardening in shirt and trousers and waistcoats from the second best suits. But anyway, my dad wore a boiler suit, and there was method in his madness. It's a funny tale. His local was at the top of our avenue. It was a cul-de-sac, and my dad did the gardening for practically half the avenue. There was a lot of old deers there in the houses and flats on our cul-de-sac, and he did the gardening, and he filled the whole avenue with bedding plants every year from an 8x6 greenhouse, and my Uncle Charlie's a greenhouse at the end of the row. But anyway, he liked a pint in the afternoons and a game of cribbage with his mates. But coming in all messed up from the gardening, he'd have to face this a chorus of disapproval, getting changed. So he had a number of sheds scattered about, so he could go out in the morning, do his gardening, and then disappear. And then because he just shed the boiler suit and off-ski in his sports jacket to the pub with his cronies, and then come back for a doze at 3:30. For those of you not in the UK, that used to be the licensing times. Pubs closed at 3:30, well, 5 was it? Anyway, come back for a snooze before tea. Mind you, he had to face the barrage of disapproval when he came back. That's it. But anyway, I always did, child, I always remember my dad gardening in a boiler suit, so that's what I do. And of course, because, I mean, I don't have a pub I sneak off to, but because I'm retired and I'm constantly in and out, like keeping an eye on the sewer. It's not as though I can go out, get mucky, come back, strip off into things. I'm in and out. So the boiler suit's great because it means I can just come in here, put it on. I can be as messy as I want. It's a bit like one of those all-in-one NBC suits that that you see in the sci-fi films, and then I can just shrug it off and be back in the house, and I can do that 2, 3, 4 times a day. You know, it's not a lot of bother. So that's, if any of you were wondering, I've told you anyway, that's why I do it. And of course, it's got plenty of pockets. It's even got, this is quite old, it's got the long pocket for your folded wooden rule down the side, which was an element. Always in my dad's pocket. He always had a wooden rule down on pocket, a stub of a pencil behind his ear, and a packet of Woodbines unfelted in his top pocket. Which did him in the end, but anyway, that was that. So I thought I'd say this. What do you wear in thing? I mean, there's all sorts, isn't there? I mean, you could boiler suit. There's a shop coat. I'd have a shop coat, which is almost like this, but it stops at the knees, doesn't it? And then I'm trailing stuff in the rest of my trouser legs and my shoes. There's that, and there's all these fancy designer aprons, which are smashing, and you can customise them for all the sorts of things that you want. You're marking out stuff in your little, oh, I can't find it again, your little 4-inch square and everything like that, and your pencils and your knives and everything. But again, it's not big enough. I need an all-over bib to stop me traipsing and mucking. So that's why I'm wearing this. Tell me what you wear. I mean, I wouldn't mind one of those fancy designer aprons, but again, you know, it stops at the knee. Sometimes they're even shorter with all the pockets. I don't want to carry about 15 pounds worth of shrapnel in the pockets in what is basically 8 foot by 16 foot space, you know. Besides the fact I can't find anything, at least it's within arm's reach and I don't have to climb down off a roof, you know, like a rigger or something. Anyway, so that's another bit of waffle. I'll try and put it down to under 5 minutes, just to get a reaction from you guys as to what you wear and why I find this handy. Of course, I wear a hat as well, because when I go inside I do that, shed everything everywhere. Right guys, I'm off for my usual cup of Yorkshire, and I'll catch you again